ในช่วงของ World Update วันนี้นะคะเราจะไปติดตามการความน่าสนใจนะคะของเทรนด์ของ VC ในปีนี้นะคะในมุมมองของ Golden Gate ซึ่งเป็น Venture Capital นะคะที่เข้ามามีบทบาทใน Southeast Asia กว่า 7 ปี และก็เข้าไปลงทุนนะคะในบริษัทสตาร์ทอัพมากมายรวมไปถึงประเทศไทยด้วยเทรนด์ในปีนี้จะเป็นอย่างไรบ้างรวมไปถึงนะคะประเด็นฮอตๆส่งผลนะคะต่อตลาด Transportation หรือว่าคมนาคมอย่างไรเดี๋ยวเราไปหาคำตอบกันได้เลยค่ะGood afternoon, Justin. Thank you very much for joining us for today's interview. The first question that I would like to ask you is about the VC trend across Southeast Asia and the Golden Gate part of it. What do you think about it?
So we're extremely bullish about the venture capital industry in Southeast Asia. When we first started investing in this region back in 2011, it was very nascent, but now we're starting to see Series A funds, growth funds, new seed funds coming out of the woodwork, and I think that is indicative of just an optimism around Southeast Asia and technology that we haven't seen in the last decade.
What area or sector would you be interested in?
So Golden Gate Ventures is a very consumer-oriented fund. So we are looking at products and services that are front-facing with consumers. So when consumers are going online or consuming media, using their mobile phones or surfing the web, we're investing in companies that are operating within that space. We are a Series A fund based in Singapore, but we're going to be investing across Southeast Asia. That's our thesis, that's our brand and reputation, and again, we're so optimistic about what's happening on the ground here. I don't see us investing anywhere else.
Okay. Each fund, how much is it?
Each fund, so our first fund was relatively small, it was 10 million. Our second fund was 60 million, and then our third fund will be 100 million US dollars.
Okay. What are the factors that you have to take into account before you decide whether you want to invest or not?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. The most important thing at the end of the day is that this is the entrepreneur is giving us a product or service that we see has applicability across the region. So they're not only thinking about products or services that would work in Thailand. They're not only thinking about products and services that would work in Singapore or Indonesia. They're thinking about products and services that will work across multiple markets. So that's key. Secondly, we need to invest in an entrepreneur that we feel can execute on that vision. It's very difficult to take your product and service in Singapore and then go to Indonesia and then go to Malaysia and actually execute on that successfully. That's the most important thing, and so we're investing in entrepreneurs that can do that as well.
Okay. Can you tell us like any interesting case study that you have invested in?
So
business?
Sure. One concept that I do love to invest in, and we've seen tremendous growth in this space, is agent networks. So agent networks are individuals that they have a network of people around them. You know, they're usually in rural areas, not necessarily in urban, but more rural. And with a tablet or a mobile phone, they're being enabled by selling products and services. They can sell digital goods. They can sell airtime minutes all through a mobile phone or tablet. And they're actually kind of spread out across different localities, spread out over different countries. And it's taking this very traditional business, which is like the arisans or the street shops, and now you're giving them so much more opportunity to sell different products and to sell to more customers. Those are the ones that we're starting to see much more now. We made an investment into a company doing this in Indonesia, but we're starting to see similar models spread out across the region, in Thailand, in the Philippines, and in Malaysia.
Okay, and I believe that you have invested 6 to 7 companies in Thailand as well.
Yes, that's correct.
How do you see things going in Thailand?
I think actually the great thing about Thailand is that it's always held its own. It's always produced amazing startups and amazing entrepreneurs. I think Southeast Asia, there is perhaps too much attention devoted to Singapore and Indonesia, right? Singapore being the most mature economy, Indonesia being the largest. But I think that kind of ignores a lot of the value and a lot of the high potential that we see elsewhere. And Thailand has actually managed to overcome that. I think that there's been a lot of institutional interest in Thailand, especially Thai startups and entrepreneurs, and I think that's due to just the quality of companies that we see there.
What does Thailand have that maybe other countries in the region might not have as much as Thailand?
Honestly, it's a mindset issue in the sense that they are thinking about again, they are thinking about products and services that work beyond their immediate borders. They are thinking about products and services that not only work for Thai consumers, but they work for Indo, they work for Singaporeans, they work for Malaysians. It sounds simple, but that mindset is actually quite difficult to come by, and it's more an evolution. It's not something where an ecosystem suddenly believes, oh, we need to start servicing other markets. It actually takes some time to get there. But Thai entrepreneurs have gotten to that point faster. They're thinking about the region as opposed to just their local market.
So the key success factor for a startup, in your point of view, is the ability for a startup to be available or like to be used across the region,
Correct.
not only like locally.
Correct. I think what you are starting to see from regional investors is the need and desire to invest in regional leaders, not local leaders.
Okay.
We want to invest in companies that have the potential to dominate all the countries in Southeast Asia, not just dominate their home market. And if you look at the most successful companies here, like Grab, like Carousel, these are companies that operate across multiple localities and they do it extremely well.
Okay. Any challenges for Thai startup as well?
Nothing necessarily unique to Thailand. The largest problems are unique to Southeast Asian entrepreneurs in the sense that it's very difficult to go from one country to the next. It's probably the most difficult thing about scaling in this region. You can be the leader in your home country, but when you want to expand elsewhere, and many times you need to expand elsewhere for it to make business sense, for it to make unit economic sense, that's where the trickiness is. That's where the difficulty lies in actually growing into new markets.
And that because of what reason?
I mean, you know, ASEAN sounds like
closed market or something?
No, not at all. If anything, ASEAN is a misnomer because it presumes that this is a homogenous market when it is not. It is actually comprised of many different countries, many different regulations, laws, cultures, languages that, you know, as a result, the consumer mindset and consumer behavior is different across the board. So just because something will work in Singapore doesn't necessarily mean it will work in Thailand. And so businesses need to accommodate that. Businesses need to localize on a very granular level to succeed.
And that is part of your role as well, to help startup go
Correct.
through each
I mean,
stage?
every fund, it's not just about capital. Every fund wants to be able to advise and help their startups grow regionally. And the commonality for Series A funds in Southeast Asia is that they have a regional presence, that they can help companies expand regionally. That's our core thesis, and that's what we want to do for our startups.